Recognizes Representative Luttrell for 5 minutes for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us today. In your opening statement, you listed a bunch of successes, which I'm going to piggyback off what Mr. Murphy was just speaking on. The successes are great, and I applaud the efforts of the VA to get those. Make no mistake about it, we hear from our constituents and myself and the rest of the committee members, we visit all of our VAs in our districts, in our states, and nationally. And the problems that I have, and I'm a very rural area too, so my veterans have to travel. And to Ms. Malloy's statement, if you're going to have a veteran traveling 490 miles to get a set of eyeglasses because community care refuses, the VA refuses to assist that veteran in community care, that's a big deal. Something that needs to be directly addressed. Now, in HR 1639, I'm going to talk to you, Ms. Peabody, Ms. Scavella, you may be the one that's going to jump on top of this. The VA's Zero Suicide Demonstration Project Act, which the VA opposes. Now, the VA opposes it. It says VA does not support this current bill for clinical, fiscal, empirical, contractual, and technical and empirical reasons, which are elaborated in the following responses from the VA. How many veterans did we lose last year from suicide?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. And obviously, we are committed to ensuring that we are providing the best possible care. That number is going to be forthcoming in our annual report, which is going to be released this week.
Last year, not this year. How many last year did we lose?
I don't have the number in front of me.
Over 4,000.
Yeah. So
you know how many was the year before that? Over 4,000.
Correct.
In the past, I'll just throw this out there. I need to get the exact number. And I would say in the past decades, when Congress gives the VA money for suicide prevention, to take that number completely down to zero, the number of suicides over the past 50 years plus has increased. So when I read the reason that the VA opposes 1639, the VA has the same problem. So I take offense to the VA saying that what we're trying to do to decrease that number, you have a problem with. Because I have a problem with the VA. You're failing when it comes to preventing veterans from committing suicide. The number is growing, continuing to grow. So I don't want you to sit in front of me and tell me that we're having a bad idea when you have no idea whatsoever. Now, you sitting in front of me and say, oh, I'm going to wire brush you for this, okay? And you can go back to yell at whoever you want. But as hard as we're working to try to fix this problem, don't present to us the same problems that the VA has and not give us a better answer than that. Please respond.
yes, so we do have answers to that. So in response to Landsman's proposal for some additional studies, our concerns with that particular piece of legislation is that we do have ongoing work that's coming out of the Hannon Act and the legislation there, and we're providing reports that are indicating exactly what we're finding related to suicide prevention. We're using our annual reports to really dive down on what we're seeing. We recognized a trend with women veterans using lethal forms of weapons, and we've addressed that, and we've reduced lethal means suicides in women veterans significantly to less. We've reduced it by over 45%. We've looked at.
Okay, so you reduced, but in the men's side is. Make no mistake about it, and I respect Ms. Brownlee's efforts on our women veterans, but at the end of the day, we're all veterans.
Correct.
We all wear that uniform, so if you're specifically focusing on just trying to get the women's suicide rate down, that's great.
That's not the case, sir.
Okay,
with all due respect, we are working on improving the numbers for all different demographics. For men, unfortunately, compared to the United States, the suicide completion rate of non-veterans amongst men is increasing, but we've seen a smaller increase amongst men. We've also looked at different demographics. We've seen a reduction in suicides amongst men and women between the ages of 18 and 34.
You said you've seen a reduction?
Yes.
That didn't populate in the numbers last year.
We're looking at the current data that we're releasing our report this year.
So the current data is going to show this year
our numbers
that the suicide rate is down. That's what you're telling me?
Our numbers are concerning. I'm not saying that they're not, but we are making inroads based on the annual report and actually diving deeply into each section to determine where we need to make inroads. So We're looking at all different types of demographics. We're looking at other types of social determinants, including housing stability, other mental health diagnoses, and all those things factor into the care that we're
And
providing.
through the results of the studies that you're conducting, you're going to write up a piece of legislation that you're going to present to Congress that says this is the way forward to reduce suicides to zero?
Actually, what we're recommending is that we have legislation in place that looks like it is working, but we're within 18 months of the first report, and we're looking at providing a final report in September 2025. And we would like to continue to delve deeply into what we're doing and use existing authorities to make sure that we're not unintentionally either harming veterans or their communities by stopping things that seem to be working. So we would like the opportunity to continue to work with this body to determine what continues to make sense. But we're early into this journey. The Hannon Act was just recently enacted. We've got grant programs taking place, the Sergeant Fox grant program, which is making a difference, and we're seeing different improvements in different areas, and we'd like to continue that. I do share your concern, though, that we still are seeing suicides that are being
All right, so I can't wait to see the results of your studies and what the numbers produce for 2024. And I hope you're right.
Yeah, our report, we've given an interval report in November of 2024 that.
I'm going
Okay.
to cut you up. Sorry. I'll meet you after class if you don't mind. Thank you. Sorry, Madam Chair. I want to apologize.